Hello and a very warm welcome back to Summit Seashore Birding Adventures and Hurricane Lee Megas. I'm sure for many of you you'll have a good idea of where this video is going to go, but for those who don't, who are new to the channel or maybe even new to birding, I will attempt to paint a picture and make sense of why a hurricane off the east coast of the States has had such a dramatic impact here and prompted this video. Unlike the majority of my other videos, this will be a little bit map text heavy, but please bear with me and I'll do my best to keep you engaged because what I'll be talking about is something that, you know, could be best described as one of the most significant falls of North American songbirds in the UK's and Ireland's recorded history. Much of the data I will be highlighting has been collated by my good birding pal Nick Tanner, who has spent many hours poring over reports, forums, Twitter posts, bird guides, rare bird alert to put some totals together for this extraordinary occurrence. I, for my part, will hopefully put some context to these numbers and through some basic animation give a rough overview of what happened and what effect it had here in the UK and in Ireland and also on the Azores. So don't go away. So on the 5th of September 2023, Lee formed as a tropical wave off the west coast of Africa and began its journey northwest, where it morphed and eventually transitioned into a Category 5 hurricane, and at its most powerful had recorded winds of 165 miles an hour. It affected many areas it came close to, such as the Caribbean, some US states and many parts of northeast Canada. It finally dissipated on the 19th of September, with the remnants winds heading northeast over the Azores and up into the Irish Sea, and where the storm had already affected many parts of the UK and Ireland. However, at the same time Hurricane Lee was spinning its anger in the North Atlantic, another incredible natural occurrence was happening, and equally as amazing, the movement of tens of thousands of songbirds down the northeast side of North America on their southbound journey to Central and South America and onto their wintering grounds. Many birds would have been caught up in that storm and would have perished, but a few did survive and have been dragged along like Dorothy and ungraciously dumped on Iceland, the Azores, Ireland and the UK. I hope in this next slide you truly get a sense of how, when those two moments collide, the aftermath, at least in terms of rare birds, is absolutely unbelievable. Kudos for all these discoveries must go out to our dedicated reserve wardens, patch watchers, birders and ringers whose skill, foresight, drive and knowledge bring these records to the attention of our birding tribe. So by Tuesday the 19th of September, when the weather had improved, both rare bird alert and bird guides started to go into overdrive. By the 23rd, it was full-on chaos. For some of the hardened veterans of the birding and twitching world, this occurrence equates to one of the most amazing opportunities they will ever have to possibly see multiple birds that have only occurred once or twice in our combined histories. The big question though was what bird to go for first. With the birds scattered to the four corners from the Scillies to St Kilda, it would be a big decision. I was fortunate in a way in that I had no choice. I was at work and the earliest I could go for anything would be Saturday the 23rd, so I had to just sit back and watch the birds keep tallying up. So at 3:15 a.m. on Saturday the 23rd, we departed Surrey and headed west, and our destination was St Govan's Head, Pembrokeshire, where we arrived at about 7:56, a drive of over 230 miles. The weather was good, and the bird we were going for had already been reported that morning, just 15 minutes prior to us arriving. There must have been at least 60 people on site, and you could already feel that there was a good vibe in the air. I soon bumped into a few familiar faces, including Sean Ferguson and Dominic Mitchell, but we didn't have to wait too long until the star turned up, giving brief but good views, popping up and posing for the birding paparazzi, then just as quickly disappearing again. The bird we were here to see was Magnolia Warbler. This individual represents the third record for the UK, the first on St Agnes Isles of Scilly in 1981 and the other on Fair Isle in 2012. So this bird was a massive target for many birders and had been staying loyal to this particular patch for its fourth day. The conversation soon turned to the craziness of the last few days and wondering who the lucky few were who were now heading up to catch the boat over to Ramsay Island to see the UK's second bay-breasted warbler. But then something very unexpected happened. I could see people speed walking in the direction of the car park, and looking down at my phone, the penny dropped. A Canada warbler had just been reported, and it was just an 18-minute drive away. You've never seen a car park empty so quick. 17 minutes later, I had caught up with the first wave of twitchers and, like them, started looking and listening, scanning the bushes for a flash of yellow to appear. However, the adrenaline and excitement and energy slowly subsided and the crowd spread out on this small country lane. Expectations began to deflate as the bird had not reappeared for over an hour. But then, very quickly, a murmur trickled down the ranks and transformed into a mass exodus as the crowd melted into the tree line, leaving the road empty. The atmosphere was absolutely electric. We were all in this together, and the directions to the bird's location were passed along the line in military fashion, and you could hear the sighs of relief as people connected with good views through the tangles of branches and debris under the canopy. However, I had to wait a little longer as you truly needed to be at the right angle to get onto this bird as it made its way around the back edge, sometimes at ground level, occasionally being harassed by a robin. My opportunity finally came when I crawled through the crowd on my hands and knees, being encouraged by other birders who had seen the bird. "Go on, mate, get to the front, you'll get it," they shouted. Finally it showed for me, and I got to see this incredible first for the UK, Canada warbler. Even when I was living in British Columbia, I only got to see this bird once, as it only just sneaks into northern BC on the very edge of its western range. So, with two unbelievable North American songbirds added to my UK list, should I push my luck and go for a lifer? About an hour later, I was at St Anne's Head, where I again bumped into Sean Ferguson, and an hour's vigil produced two views of a very elusive, melodious warbler. What a day. Okay, so let's just very quickly recap on the birds that have turned up. To the best of my knowledge, there have been 18 North American songbirds recorded over the last 2 weeks, plus one unidentified Empid flycatcher. It really is a truly impressive list when you see it like this, and quite unbelievable, to be honest. You know, just as you just scroll through those names and look at what's turned up, it really is quite incredible. And I did want to just split these up into their different groups so we can see what each country has produced. My last slide, I promise you. The Azores also located an impressive selection of these New World passerines with an incredible list of 14 species identified, and in fact 7 of which were not recorded here in the UK or Ireland during that time. And they were yellow-throated vireo, grey-cheeked thrush, common yellow-throat, American redstart, chestnut-sided warbler, Wilson's warbler, and mourning warbler. So kudos to all of those people out on the Azores who've done a sterling job of recording these songbirds. Okay, so the final bird I'd like to quickly mention is another rare North American bird that has recently arrived here in the UK, but is not a songbird. This is a wader. This is Wilson's phalarope, and as you can see, this bird is at distance, but great to see it. These birds are nearly annual here in the UK and Ireland. They breed mostly in Midwest United States and parts of Canada, but a small population can also be found further east. On their southbound migration, they tend to funnel down through Central America and to their wintering grounds in South America and as far down as Argentina. But as we can see here, some individuals do tend to wander. Well, that's it for another Summit Seashore Birding Adventures. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. Another big thanks out to Nick Tanner for crunching those numbers and spending time on the phone with me over the last week looking at the totals. I hope I didn't torture you too much with my amateur animations, but more importantly, I hope that I've done my job properly in that I've portrayed how significant this moment was. The influx of North American songbirds here in the UK and Ireland and the Azores was unprecedented, and it will be archived in the history books as one of the most important recorded moments in birding history. As always, if you enjoy the channel, please feel free to like and subscribe and comment if you want. We've just got into October, and October can be absolutely incredible for birds here in the UK. So looking forward to what's going to happen over the next few weeks. But until the next video, be good, enjoy your birding, and hopefully I'll see you in the field.